Now we are
Yeah,
back.
it was not long.
Yeah, as Vhukhudo is saying, this one was not long. This is lesson 11, and in this lesson, we are going to learn how to change our application start script, and we also learn how to log and manage some of the errors that occur as our Express.js application is running. And at the end of this lesson, we are going to set up our Express.js to serve static assets from our public folder. And yes, the first thing that we're going to show is our package.json, just to show that okay, I'm first going to show the dependencies that we have. We have HTTP status codes making a return, as well as Express EJS, and as always we have Express. And then now we added something to our scripts. We have a start script now, which will allow us to run our which is going to allow us to run our application without having to specify which file that we want to open. We can just say npm start, and then I'm going to move on to the other folders that we have. We're gonna move on to our controllers, and in controllers we have this error controller file, and this is something new. What this does is exporting two functions here, but first it's importing this HTTP status code module, right? So we're putting this HTTP status variable, and yes, we are creating this error code variable here, and it's just going to be the HTTP status code 404 or not found, and that's just the error handling to say if the status of the response is 404, then just show this file over here, right? And then we have another one which is respond with internal error. This is the error handling. The first one is error handling for when a resource is not found. So when a user on the browser is trying to access a resource, but then that resource is not found, this is the function that's going to handle that error, to respond to the user to say that resource was not found. And then here we're going to have a function to respond to an internal error. So this is usually like your errors with the code 500, which is something to do with the server. If there's something happening there, it's just going to say the error occurred, and if we have this status code here that has to do with an internal error, we're going to put that code, which is usually like a code 500 or something like that, and it's going to say, sorry, our application is experiencing a problem, right? And it's exporting all those functions. And then once again we have home controller.js. I'm not going to go to it. It's exactly the same as we had last time. The send request parameter and respond with name. This just allows us to show vegetables in our name. And then we have our public folder now, which is the HTML file that's going to be shown when we have a resource not found error. And then we have our views, which are exactly the same as before. It's just to show that nice styling with purple and the blocks to show our name if everything goes well. And then finally we have our main.js file. As always, we are going to import everything that we need, all the modules that we need. We're going to import home controller, going to import error controller, express EJS layout, and express. We're going to initialize express by putting it in this app variable here. We're going to set our port, set our view engine. We're going to use our layout. We're going to encode our URL. We're going to use the JSON method to the express module. We're going to log to our console where the request was made, that is the URL. And then this is just to run the functions that we had last time for our get request. And then we have our this function. This is the same as we had last time. This is for our post request, right, using the curl command. And then now we are going to have these two new functions that we've imported from the error controller module, from the error controller.js file. And yeah, the first one is respond no resource found. Second one is respond internal error, just to show that at work, as you know by now, we are no longer using node main. We've upgraded to npm start. So if I click on npm start, that is going to run our terminal, as you can see. And then we go to where the server is located, that port, and then I'm just gonna go to the default route, right? When I go to the default route, it says file not found because there is no default route. If you looked at our code, there is nothing to handle a request to the slash root, right? And in the previous examples, in the other lessons, we used to get a message here that says cannot get slash, but now we have some error handling to make the experience much better. Whenever we make a response to the default route here, instead of showing cannot get slash, it's just gonna say file not found, which is this respond no resource found respond no resource found function right in our error controller. And then if I say slash error, I visit this here, it's going to say file not found also, right? And then if I try to access a specific file here, I can say 404.html. As you can see, it's gonna say file not found. However, if I say the failure code, oh, it's still saying 404 file not found. And then now I'm going to show you when it does work. So we can still say items slash carrots, and it's going to show us this is the page for carrots. We can change it to cabbage or whatever vegetable you like. We can still put our name and have that box with the nice purple and everything. Sure, we can do that. But then if I try to say, instead of slash name slash lucky, let's say I forgot and I made a mistake and I said slash lucky, which does not exist, it's going to say file not found because we are not able to access that, right? And then let me try doing this. Yeah, just whenever we try to do something that doesn't exist, it's just going to say file not found. And then when there's something actually wrong with our server and we try to do something, yeah, so that is it for our lesson 11. Thank you.